Dumelang, Kaizer Chiefs are looking to sign a striker from Slovakia. And yes, I know what Kevin Johnson said. He said that he will not be signing any players. He doesn't want to sign any players this January transfer window. But I've been a Kaizer Chiefs fan long enough to know that it's not always up to the coach whether they want a player or not. Sometimes the management looks at the team and they see that, they're not scoring goals, and they decide to go out and sign a player. If you don't believe me, let's just take it back to Zwane's season. Zwane clearly said that he didn't want to sign Caleb Menyimana, but according to Caleb Menyimana's agent, he says that after the team lost 4-0 to Mamelodi Sundowns, he got a call from Mlifintsegi immediately after the whistle went off. So after the match finished, Mlifintsegi called agent Caleb and he said, bring Caleb to South Africa. And that was when Caleb had been sent back to Burundi. And now his agent says it was Mlifintsegi who called him, so Zwane wasn't even consulted in that decision because he was still down there after the match had ended. So it's clear that Kaizer Chiefs does take decisions without consulting the coach sometimes if they see a need. We've heard these stories before, so we're not going to delve into that. We're going to talk about who is the striker, what has he done, because it's also interesting because apparently this is not the first time that Kaizer Chiefs have actually tried to sign the striker. Their reports are saying that 3 years ago Chiefs tried to sign this player, but then was changing teams, and because of that they ended up not signing him. So who is the striker? His name is, let me read it properly, Robert Polievka. He is 27 and is currently playing in Slovakia for a team called MFK Dukla. Okay, and the name of the team doesn't end there. It continues. But I know you really and honestly don't care about the story of the player as far as what he's doing there. You care about his numbers, right? So his numbers this season so far, it's 18 games, 10 goals and 6 assists. And I know you want to jump and say, sign him now! And let's compare him to the striker that Kaizer Chiefs scouted last season and ended up signing, which is Gonzalez, who played 20 games and he scored 8 goals. So if you look at these two players, one is 16 over 18, basically. So 16 goals, 16 goal contribution in 18 matches, which would be, if we do mathematics, it would be something like 8 over 9. But ngale Gonzalez, it's 20 over 8, which is 4 over, it's not even 4 over, it's 4 over 10, which is also 1 over 2. Now compare maths. I don't even know why I'm doing that. I don't know why I'm doing that. So basically, Gonzalez, let's just make simple math. Yeah, na goal contribution yake, it's 40%. So he was contributing 40% goals in the matches that he played. 40% of the matches he would contribute a goal. So basically in 4 of 10 matches that he played, he would contribute a goal, or in 2 of 5 matches, which basically when you convert it to mathematics is 40%, as I said. And when you look at the other one, it's 8 over 9, which is a much higher percentage compared to this one. So to me, when Kaizer Chiefs is scouting a player like that, who's much better in numbers while they're scouting him than the striker that they already scouted and ended up signing, it says to me this deal might be on. But it might just not be on right now in January, because there is a possibility of him signing now in January, but apparently there is also a possibility of him signing in June, which could be a bit problematic because look at it this way. This guy right now is clearly playing good football for his team, and he might just get other suitors from Europe, and the Sundowns also need a striker. So we know how that story ends. If Chiefs wants a striker, if Chiefs wants a player, Sundowns tend to go after that player. But before I talk about the other positions that he play and how much he cost, do make sure to like the video and do the other nice things like liking, subscribing, following, just do the nice things. Now, a contract of this guy, Robert Polievka, expires in June 2025, which means next year. And you would think that if Kaizer Chiefs Vele try to sign him now, it might be a bit tricky, right? Because he still has 18 months. But if Chiefs tries to sign him in June, that is a better idea, right? Because think about it. After that, he will go to January. The next transfer window will be January, and Chiefs could just get him on a free transfer because they will just sign a pre-contract with him. So then I think the best time for his team to sell him would be in June, because according to Transfer Market, I didn't see anything that says they have an option to extend. So how much does it cost, and where does he play? Well, he can play as a left winger, he can play as an attacking midfielder, and he can also play as a striker. It makes sense. 10 goals as a striker as well, creating things as an attacking midfielder, or he can do both. It doesn't matter really. He's creative and he can score goals. And what's his price? And maybe you want to close your eyes because, yeah, he is 1 million euros if you convert it to South African rands. Right now is his rated. That's 20,400,000. Don't know whether I should drop the mic and say, "Ish, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen." It looks tricky, ne? It does look tricky. But obviously, valuation of a player does not always necessarily mean the team will pay that amount of money, because he might be worth 20 million, but through negotiations and knowing that, hey, if you are saying this player is worth 20 million and it doesn't renew his contracts and he ends up moving, and you end up losing him for free in any case, what was the whole point of the protestation and saying, oh no, we're not selling you the player if you don't give us 20 million? So Chiefs have signed, or did sign Umthetho for 10 million. So to me, I would think that it's possible for them to sign him if they are really desperate. Which brings us to another player, Ufawaz Basadin. So Ufawaz Basadin, as I said in the other video about who's this guy, Urian Hanamup, Kaizer Chiefs apparently are looking mainly to sign Rian Hanamup, and there are reasons for that. You can go check the video that says Kaizer Chiefs' main target. It's from 2 days ago. Now, with Basadin, apparently, not apparently, his contract ends in 2025. But Stellenbosch are currently negotiating an extension with him. And on top of that, Stellenbosch have been selling players to Chiefs, right? But what is also happening now is that Steve Barker says he wants to hold on to the players that he has. And he has proven to the team why they should just let him keep the players that he has, because he just won the Carling the Carling Knockout Cup. And on top of that, he is in a good place in the league, and he's been finishing in decent positions as well in the league. So that might just convince the board, because the money got from the Carling Knockout Cup, on top of that, the money of finishing third or second in the league, it might just try to balance the scale and say, okay, now we don't need to sell our best players because we are now competing and we are getting money. So then our revenue is no longer just dependent on who are we selling, but we're also making money based on the positions that we're finishing on. So we might as well just continue investing in the team and make sure that we are getting better. I actually have a question for you when it comes to this. And it's this. Kaizer Chiefs have signed how many players from Stellenbosch? Kunika is one of them. They also signed Unang the other season. They also just signed Umthetho and Utupre as well. So my question to you is this thing sustainable for Kaizer Chiefs? Because we as fans, well, I wasn't there during COVID. Fans submitted a memorandum saying that they want Kaizer Chiefs to start having relationships with other teams, right? But it seems like the only team that we really have relationship with is Stellenbosch, and after that it's Moroka Swallows. So now, do you think that Kaizer Chiefs should continue just getting players from Stellenbosch, or you think they should follow up and do what the fans have asked for? Build relationships with other teams in the PSL as well, because there are other teams that have good players, but we just tend to only go to Stellenbosch. Yes, I know we signed with Nitlokwe from Supersport, but look at how that went down. Supersport were not happy. And when we got flus from them as well, Supersport were not happy. So I don't want us to sign players and leave these other teams disgruntled and thinking, and I know Supersport were wrong. We had to sign with Nitlokwe. It was within the club's rights because we signed him on a pre-contract. But I'm just saying, wouldn't it be better if we had good relationships? For example, with Abo Arrows, they produce players, but then people say Valley Arrows has a relationship with Pirates. But to smooth things out with other teams, would that be a better idea? And what should Chiefs do, in fact, to kind of make these relationships better. Because my idea has always been, why not just sell them or give them our development players, to loan our development players to them, and then in the way it's a win-win, because we loan you Utuba, let's say Amazulu for example, we loan Amazulu Utuba, and then Utuba gets game time, which means he's getting game time himself, he's happy. Amazulu get a good striker, and also Kaizer Chiefs, when he gets better or he is getting game time, that means he's getting used to playing in the PSL, and if and when he plays in the PSL, he gets experience, and then we can bring him back to Kaizer Chiefs. So we can get players from our development, loan them out to these other teams, and from loaning them out, they get experience, they get minutes, and then we bring them back to Kaizer Chiefs, and then they can play having experience PSL. Not this thing of moving from TDC, sitting on the bench at Chiefs, and then disappearing. What do you think? Do let me know down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoya.